So we actually have a variety of programs for the Esports Association. One is career readiness. So we actually work with the Career Center here to better prepare our association members to learn those life skills that they are going to need so that when they make that transition over to a career pathway.
Awesome, awesome. This guy, we gotta turn around. This guy wins almost every tournament we throw. I'm telling you. You gotta watch him live. He's gonna be something big. I'm telling you.
CSUDH Esports Association is centered in 4 domains: academics and research, community engagement, competition, and entertainment.
We're trying to make sure that the students are prepared for the future, that they understand the diversity that media offers now, and again, look beyond the traditional outlets.
They can gain fieldwork, partnerships, as well as potential job opportunities and in both the higher education and K-12 fields.
We believe that esports is a strategy and not an outcome. Our association is here to help anyone that is willing to learn how to take your gaming skills to the next level through a supporting community. If you are looking to showcase your production talents to help support our esports teams, then this is the association for you. We host online and on-site tournaments that will allow our members to showcase their competitive spirit. Our association broadcasts out our competition and practices to entertain our community as well as our global audience. We believe that by joining us, you will come out of the association feeling transformed and better prepared to transfer your skills into your career. Join today and begin to explore endless opportunities through our Esports Association here at Cal State Dominguez Hills. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another esports talk session. And today we have a very special guest. But before we get started, I'd like to just start off with a couple of announcements. One is that we can't thank you all enough for tuning in, for viewing live, and for those who watch this on post. Please note that we have various social outlets there that you can follow us in, subscribe to us, leave feedback. All of this is possible based off your support. Also, very notable day today. Happy Election Day to everyone. So if you have not done so, please go out and vote. Without any further ado, I'd love to introduce to you our special guest in Harley Parks, who's here with us. And today's topic is empowering our female youth in esports. So Harley, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. So I got to say, Harley, you've got an impressive reputation, resume, everything, all the above. So if I may just ask just a little bit about your background, if you don't mind. How did you get started in gaming and esports? If you don't mind, just walk us through it a little bit.
Well, I first got an Xbox when it first released. I actually got an Xbox One in 2013, and the first game that I got was Call of Duty Ghosts. Being that my dad was, in the military, he still is currently. I was, oh, let me get Call of Duty. I thought it was like really cool. I was like, let me see what my dad does. Completely different, actually. When I figured that out, I was like, okay. But no, I mean, I definitely was playing Call of Duty. I was getting into it about 2014 when Advanced Warfare came out. I got into the competitive side and I started watching, the pros play and when Optic was, back when it was a good thing and, the original phase and all that. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. And I really wanted to get into it, but I was young at the time. I couldn't really, go play in like the CWL back when the CWL was a thing as well, but I really wanted to play and I was very interested in it. So I joined these small little teams, one of them called PTKE, the other AVL. And I just played in these small little teams, did small scrims, GBs, and, it hit me a couple years down the line, like 2016, 2017, one of my good buddies on Xbox was like, "Hey, if you're going to be playing this much and putting this much time into it, you might as well be making money or making a living." And I
Mm.
was like, "You know what? You're right." And it's something that I enjoyed, so I started, thinking about, okay, what can I do? And I started researching, and I want to grow, how to really make a living and make it big in esports. And then this year came around, COVID, even though it's not the best situation, but for esports it was actually a really good situation
Mhm.
in growing the industry. So I decided February 2020, okay, I'm going to make Bear Claw Gaming, or Bear Claw Army is what
Right.
most people call it.
Mhm.
And it's been a struggle so far, especially with school. And definitely, in a military family, you never know what's going to happen. You could move
Right.
at any given time, and being that there's COVID, you know, you could be on lockdown at any given time. So that was very stressful, and especially living overseas here in Germany, it's COVID's even worse.
Mm.
So there's a lot more to, worry about, especially overseas, and running a team that's an international based team. I don't have an actual, set place for my team, but
Mm.
growing through these past 10 months, I've learned a lot, just about management in general, and,
Mm.
how to lead, how to bring people together, get goal oriented, and really shoot for the stars, because anyone can really do it if they put their mind to it.
Right.
Something that I was really amazed of is just how people come together in a time like this, and how everyone in the community in the industry is just, they're so, you know powered to get where they want to be, and everyone wants to make it pro.
Mhm.
Over the past 10 months, I've been able to get a top 24, in Asia,
Wow.
first strike Valorant team, that are competing against, the highest
Mm.
levels, such as, Cloud9, T1, Core
Wow.
9. And actually, today I picked up a top 8 challengers team, which my prior team was only a top 100 challengers team for Call of Duty. We're
Wow.
still growing. We are actually in the works of a Rocket League team, a League of Legends team. We actually have our own Super Smash Bros. Player who's fifth in North America for Diddy Kong. He's playing out of New
Wow.
York. So a lot has happened. I'm very proud of everything that has been accomplished. We're definitely a family oriented organization,
Mm.
and we're tight knit. We like to get things going, and we all help each other and collaborate to get to where we want to be.
I love that. I love that. Gosh, you gave us such a good synopsis and background. That's very impressive. And so I just want to take us back a little bit. So you mentioned again, military family,
Yeah.
uh, having to move at any given moment, or even being on lockdown at any given precise moment.
Definitely.
Um, so how, I mean, just even growing up, as you were essentially, traveling, how difficult was that for you, to even meet friends and people to essentially find the similar interests you had in gaming to establish really this big network that you have now?
Well, it's a curse and a blessing, really. The curse being that when I was younger, I felt like I would always lose friends. I'd have to remake friends. Um, you know, I had to go to multiple different schools, just unimaginable amount of schools. Like I have to go on two hands to start counting schools.
Yeah.
Um, it does get stressful. It was definitely a curse in the sense of, I lost a lot of friends. I didn't have like a regular stable childhood.
Mm, mm,
I didn't have family that I could go to on the weekends.
mm.
It was just, I always stayed with my parents. Like a lot of people can go to like their grandmas for the
Right.
weekend, or hang out with family, and that, or their favorite cousin. I don't
Right.
have
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But the blessing is I was able to network. I was able to meet so many people. I was able to experience the world from every different culture, just understanding how different cultures are, and really getting that exposure has helped me so much in business, has helped me so much, in leadership and management. And at the same time, keeping some of my connections from middle school,
Mm,
to even reach out to people in North America, to play Call of Duty for me.
Right.
So definitely the networking aspect was absolutely a blessing. I wasn't, you know, singled out to one area. I was able to go all across the nation.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, just hearing the challenges, I can hear that and I just go, wow. You know, I don't even know how one would do it, but yet you navigated those treacherous waters and are able to obtain, the network that you do. And also just finding the silver lining in a lot of this, given that you're in the situation. And even what you said earlier too, Harley, like it just resonated. Like when you started the esports professional team in Bear Claw Army Gaming, um, that you started this back in February. This is pre-COVID, time for us, and it just seems like ages ago right now. But
Definitely.
um, all that being said, you still pursued it, went at it, and even though COVID has been obviously very hard for everybody, but in the esports industry side, you've seen a big growth and boom.
Definitely.
And share a little bit about why that is, if you don't mind.
Well, for esports, in 2020, it was projected to become $1 billion for a net
Right.
worth of the industry. And something that was absolutely astonishing to me is if you look at the ESL play statistics, viewers have gone up over 100% from last year. A lot of people don't have much to do. I mean, you're stuck in your home and you what else are you going to watch? You have no sports to watch, no Major League Baseball, no, National Football League.
Mhm.
You you have nothing, and everyone turned to esports, and esports is something people can get behind. It's a growing industry. A lot of the youth is already into it. And, Europe, it's definitely growing in Europe and in Asia. So North America followed suit, and it was just absolutely amazing to see the growth of even other organizations or small organizations, including mine, as just so much more came out of it. So much more supporters. New interests and new games that came out of it.
Mhm.
Just the esports industry was able to boom because of people staying at home and people needing that entertainment, and still something people could get behind in a time of crisis to make it feel normal.
Gosh, all good points you just made right there, and absolutely right. Right, even I'm still even recalling, even some of the professional, athletes needing to outlet their competitive nature into some of these games,
Definitely.
and finding that time to actually compete with other teammates or opposing players just so that they can outlet that energy because we need to find that,
Definitely.
right? We naturally want to compete and challenge ourselves, hopefully
Oh,
higher
definitely.
levels. So, Harley, I mean, you shared earlier, I mean, middle school, the fact that you hold this role, and if I'm not mistaken, you are the CEO,
Yes, sir.
correct? And, being at where you're at right now, having to travel so much, I mean, are you, I've got to say, you've got to be the youngest CEO that I've ever encountered. Is that the case? I mean, are the
I'd
youngest
love
CEO out there?
I'd love to be named that if Google would knock on my door and say, "Hey, we would like you to, be on the front page here and be the youngest female CEO in esports." I
That's
would love
right.
to be. I've not seen anyone else as young as me. I did do some research, and I believe the youngest to date is 21. I'd
Wow.
like to steal that title,
Yeah.
and I'd love for Esports Insider to come in and do a nice little interview and say, "Hey, would you like this title?" I would definitely love it. Yeah, to date, I feel that, right now from what I've seen, I would definitely say that yes, I am the youngest
That's so
when it comes
cool.
to esports.
Gosh, that is so cool. I mean, in the fact again, like you having to endure some of the challenges that people would say, gosh, those are tough challenges. Like, how do you even build a network when there's no stability? Yet you were able to manage all of that, and in turn be able to build, an organization to what it is today. And just the timing of it all really helped just further propel
Oh,
of
definitely.
where the team is at, being so highly ranked and competing against really well-known name esports professional teams out there. and giving them a run for their money too on top of that.
Definitely. Yeah.
That's just an amazing accomplishment in itself, just even saying one line. And so again, share with us, like, some of the benefits that attributed to the traveling. So I understand you were born here in the US, correct? And then you had
Correct.
to travel abroad. So share with us a little bit about that.
Well, from the places I've lived, I'd love to list them out. I actually was born in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Then I moved to North Carolina, Tennessee, Tennessee, Kansas, Kansas, then to Puerto Rico, where I picked up a little bit of Spanish.
Yes.
Puerto Rico, then to El Paso, Texas, and then El Paso, Texas, back to North Carolina, and then North Carolina, now here to Germany. So, yeah, I mean,
Wow.
it's been
Yeah.
pretty much everywhere,
Just for
but yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I've lived, oof, I've lived what's felt like everywhere, and
Yeah.
now I mean I'm trying to relocate on my own to South Korea, to pursue esports there, especially with my team. In fact, for our Valorant team that's based out of South Korea, we actually just knocked out Team Supremacy, which was absolutely wonderful in first strike.
Wow.
We're like, okay, these guys won CWO for Call of Duty, and now we knocked them out of Valorant. Like, this is crazy. But yeah,
Nice.
it's been pretty stressful moving, really everywhere. But yeah, I've moved abroad once to Puerto Rico, and then came back, and then now I'm here in Germany.
Wow, amazing. Gosh, just the bouncing around, and I just feel like you probably have a suitcase ready on hand just in
Oh
case.
yeah, we do not unpack boxes. Half of our boxes are that's the thing. You do not really unpack boxes in a military family. You barely put up paintings, and if you do, it's mainly posters cuz paintings are a pain, and then
Right.
you got to take put them up, make sure that they're like all centered, and that you're not destroying them, and then you got to take them down when yeah, so yeah, half of my boxes aren't even undone because of that. So
Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, that's just crazy. So the team. So share a little bit about the team currently and how it's structured and organized. Again, like learning a lot of this management aspects, especially with working with people from around the world. Obviously there's different time zones. Like, how do you keep
yeah.
it so organized?
Well, so my sleep schedule is is not a normal human being sleep schedule. I'd like to say
Okay.
that first and foremost. Some weeks it's normal, some weeks it's just off the wall, and then I could have that one outlier day where it's just I'm equal with South Korean time. Um,
Mhm.
but a little bit about the teams with our management. We all have a management Discord, and we have, of course, management group chats along every social as we possibly can. We definitely see ourselves as a family, especially in the management aspect. Um, but the way that it's structured, it goes me, since I'm the CEO and
Mhm.
founder, and then we have our chief operations officer, our chief management officer, and our chief technical officer currently. And our chief operations officer really works with the team captains. The
Mhm.
team captains do attend management meetings. The assistant operations officer actually is the Call of Duty team captain, so he kind of doubles up and works with a lot of the other team captains. Our chief marketing officer actually works with all of our GFX and VFX. And then our chief technical officer just really kind of runs as my assistant, makes sure everything's going pretty much well when I'm not
Mhm.
there. But most of the time I am there. But the management aspect, we
Mhm.
keep everything very transparent. We work
Mhm.
as a family. I've seen a lot of teams where it can be a little dicey,
Mhm.
and that's how a lot of teams fall. And I don't believe in that. I believe, full transparency. A
Mhm.
management team should be a team and a family. It shouldn't be, a competitive group against each other. Everyone is really supportive. Every team is supportive of each other. Every team captain works well together. Coaches work well together, and we just make sure that everyone everyone has to work well together. Chemistry is a must. Even before we send you know anyone any contracts or anyone any onboarding materials, we do the a trial period, and we do a 1 week trial period just to see if the person themselves gets that
Mhm.
chemistry with the team or gets that chemistry with the management side of things, because we try to keep things as family oriented as possible.
Right.
And it has been a struggle. There are certain people that just don't click, and that
Right.
this team isn't for them. And then there are certain people that you want to bring on the day that you meet them. um but
Mhm.
it is stressful with time zones. It's stressful
Right.
with sleep, it's stressful with school. But I manage somehow. I'm like on the edge of managing, but I do manage. Um, and then another thing that I always do have to worry about is language barriers. I
Okay.
have
Right.
a
Right.
Colombian Call of Duty team.
Mm.
They're Latin American Call of Duty team. We
Right.
have
Right.
people from Colombia, Puerto Rico, Brazil, and then of course an NA West, which thankfully they speak English. And then of course South Korean team, they don't speak English. So
Mm. Mhm.
right now I'm working with like three separate languages, and then we're trying to bring on an US team. So I might have
Mhm.
to be working with 4 or 5 different languages there.
Wow. Mm.
Um, but no, I mean, a lot of translators, Google Translate has become my best friend.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, right.
Apps that I didn't even know existed have become my best friend.
Nice.
So, yeah, no, the management part, we do try to keep things, we do management meetings every 2 days.
Wow. Mm.
I like to keep on top of things. People need to be
Right.
informed as much as possible.
Mm.
So, information flow is crucial in my organization.
Nice, nice. Gosh, Harley, that's just amazing and outstanding how you're managing operations and everything that you even shared earlier about even the roles that are upheld within the organization. Is gosh, you're really structured to succeed. You're really structured to ensure quality is being produced each and every day that the organization is running. And like you said too, even in your process, you're learning, the obstacles that again get turned around to see as opportunity and learning new applications to be integrated. And I just again, how you're doing all of this and going to school is beyond me. Truly, commend your work, and it's obviously being showcased. But did you, prior to opening up your own esports professional team, did you have any shadowing experience prior to that?
So my real shadowing experience was just I was a player beforehand. I was in organizations, like I said, small organizations beforehand, and I was just a player.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
in the esports industry, I was really just a player, learning my way around. Of course, I did have other, outside extracurricular activities that helped me a lot, such as the Civil Air Patrol. I was a chief master sergeant there, held a first sergeant position. I did JROTC for a year. I was the principal cellist at my school.
Mm,
So I did like hold leadership positions and, a varsity golfer as well. So I was able to hold a lot of leadership positions, learn a lot from that. And, like I said, even being a player in the esports industry, playing for, smaller Call of Duty teams, definitely helped. It was absolutely amazing, and I commend
yeah.
to PTK and AVL. Sadly, they're not around anymore, but
Mm,
the people that helped me get to where I am, I commend highly, and I still ask for help from other teams.
yeah.
Um, there are certain people I even look up to in the industry right now, people such as Sailor Kevy and Matt
Mhm.
Mengel, who
Mm,
is a former UCLA alumni and also he owns Team Nuclear, works with Eli Anku, just has all the connections, both of them with all the connections. And I really look up to them as my mentors. So
nice.
whenever I do hit, a rock in the road, I will always, talk to someone because I don't
Mm,
know everything. And I'll
right.
even talk to my management, like, hey, what do I do? How do I get better? And I love
Right.
criticism. I love criticism.
Wow.
Um, I will take everyone's ideas into account. If you
Right.
want to see something, or if you think I'm doing, a bad job at something, I'm always the first person. Hey, let me know. How can I fix it? What do you want to see?
Right.
So I always, I didn't, like I said, have that much, that shadowing beforehand in
Right.
any management roles in the esports industry. I was just really a player. But now, meeting my mentors and meeting a lot of people, I've been able to catch on quickly and learn really fast, and always have people that I can rely on. Hey, what do I do? What did you do in this situation type thing?
Yeah, gosh, that's so awesome. And again, very, I'm sure like that's the most humble approach you can take things, right? It's learning as you go, and then at the same time learning from past experiences, and then the fact that you were a player also you understand also what a player must be feeling as well.
Definitely.
And so you have that ability to understand their lens and perspectives when they're offering something up, and taking into that courageous feedback that I'm sure that you receive so that the organization can move forward. And again,
Definitely.
speaking to the extracurricular, I mean, right on. Very impressed, and the fact that you took leadership roles at an early. I mean, you Harley, you've got so much ahead of you. I mean, when I say that you're young, I mean in your early days, you're still young. I mean, it's funny to say, but
Thank you.
just like in the beginning, evolutionary steps that you're taking, that I'm sure in turn really helped translate what you're doing now in the world of esports, and really, I'm sure you could apply those types of skills in any industry. And so now my next question about this is, okay, given that you have a military family and backing, I know you mentioned your dad. Is there anyone else in the family that, I mean, I'm sure they know that you're into esports, but what was that process like when you shared with them, hey, I'm going to open this organization?
Oh,
What was their initial reaction to all that?
oh well, let me tell you, this was not an easy feat.
Okay.
At first, when I was first like a player and I was still, feeling my way around the industry,
Right.
get off the Xbox. This is too you're on too much, you know, or like you need to focus on school more, blah blah blah. Um, and a couple years back, I remember telling my dad, "Dad, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be a pro player. I'm gonna own an esports org." And
Love it. Love
first thing I hear, "Oh yeah, sure, okay, yeah." You know, go for it. When I see it, then I'll support it,
There you
And I was
go.
like, and then I have in the back of my mind when I'm making this, I was like, when I see it, I'll support it. I was like, all right, fine. We can play this game. We can play this game. I'll take it on,
Play this
you
game.
know? But yeah, so I was like, let's get it. I'm gonna go full force and the full fledged go all out. And
Nice.
I did, I started making the connections. I started, growing and outputting the results. And when I showed my parents, I was like, look at this. And they're like, oh wow, actually, this possibly, could be a career for you. You're outputting the numbers. And when I showed them these are the teams I'm bringing on, here's their placements, it was like, okay, we fully support you. Go have fun, do what you need to do, go
Amazing.
for it. We know that you'll succeed. Um, Something I always ask my dad. I was like, did you ever think that I wouldn't succeed? He's like, I know you can always succeed at whatever
Nice.
you do.
Nice.
It's just a matter of, will you do it? You
Right,
know.
right, right. That's a good
Um,
point. Mhm.
but like as long as I apply myself, like I can really do anything I put my mind to, and everyone can.
Right.
Anyone can do anything that they put their mind to. It's just, are you going to give up halfway through? Are you going to give up a quarter of the way through? Or are you going to
Mm,
give up right near the very end?
mm,
So something to me, I was like, I'm not going to give up. This is a passion to me. I love gaming. I love the culture around the industry, and just the people are so nice. I mean, yeah, you get the toxic players in the lobbies, but like there's
yeah,
outside of that, there's a whole different world. The industry itself is a very, it's a warm and inviting industry because it's so
mm,
new and people are still
yeah,
learning. Um, but just the people in this industry, especially on the management side, are just wonderful people. I've
that's
never had a bad encounter at all. Um, and like I said, my
mm.
parents are fully supportive now. I actually have my grandma even watching this right now, so thank you to my grandma.
Nice, nice.
But yeah, so she's watching this. Family friends are watching this, even school friends. It's just people like that. Even at first, my school doubted me. They're like, "You're not gonna do it," and I'm like, "Yes, I am. Watch me," And now, I got the full support, and it's absolutely wonderful. To have the support. I never thought I'd, be where I am now. I really didn't. I thought it was just gonna, fall over and fail. I mean, yeah, I would have gotten back up, but I felt like to get where I am now, I felt like it was gonna take 5, 10 years. But thankfully, here we are in 10 months.
Right.
So and we're still growing. So definitely,
Gosh.
the support now, the support unit that I have for my family is just absolutely incredible.
Well, that's super awesome. Gosh, you have an amazing family, and I love it that you just gave shout outs to grandma. So big shout outs to grandma out there if she's tuning in. And that's awesome. Yeah, what your dad mentioned to you, so true, right? Will, at the end of the day, will you activate? Like, you can say
Exactly.
it, but will you activate that next step and
Exactly.
really what it takes to do the hard work that you're doing? And it's not to say, oh yeah, it's just this one stretch of hard work and then it'll become really easy. No, it's continuously going to be taxing sometimes. And what
Definitely.
you love to do too, in essence, can become, meshed into, it's going to feel like work sometimes, and it's not going
Oh
to
yeah.
always have those days, right? But you
Yeah.
still find that passion that meets the purpose in what you are converting, something as neat as the esports industry. And you're totally right, Harley. I mean, this is a fairly new industry, and there's just so much opportunity. And I think it's a lot about learning and growing, and just that neat experience of discovery that causes more people like yourself to pursue it, right? To keep informing, to keep inspiring, people in this space. And yeah, and of course, we take some good with some bad. Sometimes there's going to be some challenges and people that you know not didn't wake up on the right side of the bed.
Definitely, definitely.
So how you're managing it all, again, I commend it. It's all awesome work, and managing school, and to get the support from school as well. The backing. It always takes a village to do anything great like this,
Definitely.
with multiple hands to keep furthering you along in your mission. Now, share a little bit about the team. So I understand Call of Duty have a team. Share with us more game titles that you have teams in, what you're looking to actually open up in the future, what you're currently doing now, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so currently, well, we started with Call of Duty,
Right.
and like I said, we were able to go to Challengers last year, and we're looking to get a top 10 spot in Challengers this year with the new team that I just brought on. Um, we are also currently playing in Valorant. We're actually in the Asian region First Strike. We're number 24 right now. We were able to make it into close qualifiers, and we'll be competing on that on the 12th again, on the other Zotac Cup. So that'll be for the next round. We also are playing in Super Smash Bros. We have our wonderful player up in New York, so
Right.
he is playing, Super Smash Bros. On behalf of Bear Claw. We are expanding currently right now into Rocket League because Rocket League is huge here in Europe, and
Mm.
I have a lot of grand champions that are just interested in creating a team for Bear Claw, and I was op- uh, welcoming them with open arms. Like, hey, yeah, if you want to come in, sure, go for it. You can
Right.
represent us. I'd love to have you on the team. Um, and that's currently in the works right now.
Mm.
A League of Legends team is currently in the works. We'd love to go to League of Legends Challengers. I absolutely love watching League of Legends Worlds. I may not understand a thing about the game. I may be absolutely horrible at the game. Out of every game that I've ever played, I probably think League of Legends is my biggest weakness.
Okay.
But I love watching Worlds, and I love watching, the teams play and just the atmosphere League of Legends has
Right.
as well. So we're definitely bringing on a League of Legends team, and that's in the
Mhm.
works is current.
Super cool. Yeah.
Current we are also bringing on a FIFA team. FIFA's not that big, but there's
Mhm.
actually a lot of hope in the FIFA community right now. I've
Mhm.
seen, it's been growing exponentially in the past like 5 months, and I was like, okay, that's something I need to get on. So definitely, we're bringing on a FIFA team as well. But we're
Nice.
looking to expand to more games, as they come. Anything that brings the next hype coming in, like, oh, this
Right.
game just released, and if
Right.
it goes competitive, we'll definitely try to go into it as soon as possible.
Very
Um,
cool.
CS:GO, we've been thinking about. The problem
Mhm.
with CS:GO is, it's a great game, but in North
Mhm.
America, it is a dying game. In
Mm.
Europe, it is still the most lively game you'll ever
Right.
see. Every channel during any CS:GO game, like every other channel in Germany is CS:GO, and you can't get away from it. And I'm like, come
Right.
on, like I'm trying to watch my show, and then a CS:GO, ESPN thing pops up, and I'm like, come on, like, you got to be kidding me. You
Yeah.
never see that in North America, I guarantee you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, we've been thinking about that as well. But yeah, that's our current standings right now. Our current
Mhm.
outlooks right now, and projected standings is definitely top 10 in challengers next year, and
Nice.
currently top 24 um in Valorant. So that's
Nice.
just absolutely amazing, and bringing on the team that I just brought on was top 8 last year, and I
Right.
believe the Florida Mutineers challengers. So it was
My
just
gosh.
absolutely wonderful.
I mean, geez, Harley, when you say top 24, I mean, it's like, this is around the world. We're not
Definitely.
talking about just like one continent. You know what I mean?
Oh
That's
yeah,
just impressive in and of itself. And then how you're looking to strive to get to closer to the top 10, to the top 8, to the top 5, and
definitely.
then hopefully reach that mountaintop. Now, Harley, if I may ask, I mean, I do like what you mentioned earlier. If we go further back about how your organization really is, it's like a mom and pop. It's very family oriented, and
Definitely.
such a great way to again showcase like transparency and be able to give information in a timely manner. And I like what you said earlier about, everybody that's coming into the organization has this like probationary period just so that everybody can feel each other's chemistry to see how that works.
Definitely.
Um, how do you do recruitment, if you will, if somebody's interested to say, hey, I think I've got certain set of skills that would probably warrant, some attention. I'd love to reach out to yourself or to the organization. How does one get noticed, especially in the esports professional scene?
Well, depending on the team, some teams require grinders.
Mm,
Grinders is the term for people that they want to see, that commitment to, and that they'll tag them and stuff like that. I don't really believe in grinders because grinders is just a free way of self promotion, and I see a lot of people just like, oh, it's a free way of self, promotion.
mm,
What I believe in is a full recruitment process. People will reach out to me on Twitter or they'll directly email me. I actually have a contact part on my site.
mm,
Um, so I like to see people reach out to me, and when they reach out to me, they're like, "Hey, I have these set of skills." And I'll definitely speak with my management team. Hey, do you think we need these set of skills here on this team? Like, is
mm,
this needed?
mm,
And or the team captain or the manager of that sector. Um, yes, no. If I get a yes, then we'll definitely pool up the people that are interested within that 1 month period. And it's a monthly period that will pull in people and really say, okay, let's take a peek at your skills, and then each of them are put on that week trial period to see how they work with the team. So pretty much everyone is brought on from that month, and then
right,
they're put in this week trial period to see how they work. From
mm,
there, we'll talk with them. We'll see how they perform. If they don't perform as well as we want them to, it's try again next month.
mm,
If you do perform as well as you want as we want them to, or they
mm,
have those skill sets right off the bat, then definitely we're gonna bring them in after their week trial period, and especially if they have that chemistry and that click with the team.
mm,
For me, I love the outstanding players, the top players that I see that really stand out. But to me, I believe more so you can always have a top player. You can always have that one top dog.
mhm,
But if he
mhm,
does not get along with the team,
right,
and he's holding the team back, and the team has a lot more potential. I believe in bringing a full team on
mm,
that is already worked together, already loves each other. You
right,
know, I don't believe in bringing like singletons on. And
mm,
as
mhm, mhm,
harsh as that might sound, it's the sad reality of it is it's really hard to build a team from single people ground up, because you'll see a lot of clashing heads and
right,
a lot of discrepancies. But especially when you bring on a full team, it does make life easier. I love bringing on full teams, or teams of two or three that already are kind of established there, with their duo and their partner,
mm,
because then that you're getting performance out of each of them. They're pushing each other to become the best.
right,
And being a
mm,
player, I remember I hated coming on a team just as myself. I would always rather come on a team, with a duo or, a trio, coming in, because at that point, you already have that established chemistry and you bring the best out of each other, and
right,
you know how each other play. So it's kind of like that, you know, ESP, telepathic connection that you already have, and it's a lot better than just coming on fresh. But no, it's monthly, and then we pull them up and then see how they are for a week, and then if they don't work, then I'm sorry, please try again next month.
got it.
If we don't need
Mhm,
someone's set skills, then we will politely decline.
mhm,
Um, and that's the end of the day. I mean, of course we do try to find. I like to pull a Hex.
mhm,
Hex is
mhm,
Hector Rodriguez, the owner of Energy, Chicago Huntsman. Old, Optic. Um, a person I look up to, Optic Hex, he would always find another, another team or
Mhm.
another organization for anyone he does decline or work with.
Mhm.
And that's something that I try to do as well. Is if I see this person is really trying hard, and they want to be the best they can, I'll definitely go talk to another organization. Hey,
Nice.
guys, I think this person would be a great fit for you, and I'd
Wow.
love to, see if you could check out that person. So,
Yeah.
definitely I love to help those players along the way because everyone deserves a chance in the community.
Yeah. Gosh,
So,
that's awesome, Harley. Gosh, so comprehensive, and I love the structure from beginning to end, and even just to say that you still try to find a home for somebody that's actually trying to get into the highly competitive scene, the professional scene, to even help them find that space so that they can
definitely.
sharpen their skills. That's awesome. That's something that it's idealistic, but you don't see many people follow through, and that's really cool that you get to do that in your organization. Which no wonder people don't want to leave once they get in. So
Yeah.
I bet. And so, with that being said, a lot of the recruitment process is this, students that you see within, your networks, or is this somebody that gets brought up into different referrals, or this becomes something that, hey, anybody just sees you and then reaches out to you via Twitter or email? How does that?
Really, it's all of the above. I've had
Okay.
people reach out to me through Twitter. I've had people reach out to me through my network and contacts I even have at school.
Okay.
I've had people, reach out to me from other organizations such as Carnage, like, hey,
Mm,
our team left us. They wanted to come to you, so here you
gotcha.
go. And actually, that's what's been happening is a lot of Carnage's old teams are coming to me because there's some discrepancy on their side that
Gotcha.
I didn't want to really get into,
Right.
but
Right.
people are like, "Oh, Bear Claw, it's promising. It's a new up and
Right.
coming team, and they have a lot of potential into the scene this upcoming year." So, I mean, it's really through referrals, through networking, and
Mm,
people that are just reaching out to me that have a really good background, really good resume. Hey, this is what we have. Would you mind checking us out? I've had
mm,
people with overall earnings of $2,000, $3,000, upwards of $10,000 come message me saying, "Hey, we'd love to play for you, and here's a
mm.
resume." So definitely, it's all the above.
Wow. Amazing. And even what you said earlier too, it's like, hey, you can see, the top dogs, the people with individual stats that are just like glaringly like amazing. But if it doesn't translate well to the team, you're not willing to sacrifice that,
Definitely.
knowing that the team is much harder to build as opposed to just bringing in a bunch of singletons, like you mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
to compose a team to compete out there. And share with us, I mean, if you don't mind, how do you diffuse like really tough situations that occur into the organization that maybe those who don't run operations as efficiently as you do, that they may not know. Just if you don't mind enlightening us a little bit.
Well, we do have a human resources department. I am blessed enough to have a few select people that I work with in my management team as a human resources department, to kind of be a middleman and a separate voice, a third party voice, as you will, uh,
Mm,
to diffuse really any situation. I've never had to go further than my HR department. I've never had to, pull a full management team to sit down with someone and talk to them about their performance.
okay.
It's I usually just bring in my HR department. It's composed of three people, three wonderful people. Um, and the chief of our HR department, his name is Sebastian.
Mhm,
He goes by Noir.
mhm,
Great guy. But they usually diffuse the situation. They talk to them, because I know if I'm butting heads with someone, they don't want to talk to me. They don't want to directly come to me most of the time. They want to, talk to some third party person to, vent and, you know, they speak with my HR team, and then my HR team will report back to me, hey, this is what they want to see. This is what they think could be better. If the management team overall thinks that it's a player problem, or if it's a single management person in management problem, then
mhm,
we'll make the unanimous decision saying, hey, look, I think this person does need to leave or go on this suspension period.
mhm,
um But if it's just something slight, or a small little discrepancy, it's just pretty much they come to me. And if we find this nice little compromise, and work things out, because there are some things that definitely have not gone the way that I've planned them to, and they want some definite outlandish thing, and I'm like, I don't believe that's the best for where the organization is going right now. I think
Right.
that's not the best call, but we'll definitely try to find a compromise. And like I said,
Mm,
I have a great HR department that can diffuse situations, and
awesome.
really calm people down. So that's how I manage that.
That's good.
Um,
Mhm.
because I don't like to really confront a person when they're
Right.
in that
Mhm.
heated state, especially if they're heated with a management. I like them to talk to some third party,
Mm,
person, because I know they feel more comfortable talking with someone
gosh,
like that.
just brilliant. Gosh, Harley, thank you for sharing that and enlightening us. And so, how do you take like what you've done? And you mentioned a little bit of that, the extracurriculars, how much it's helped you in these leadership roles. Excuse me. Um, what you're doing academically, what you're learning in school, and how is what you're operating in your business. How does that translating over to school and vice versa?
Well, in school, I'm taking business and personal finances. I'm taking a bunch of computer and web design classes.
Mm,
So things that would, definitely correlate and help me in the future.
right.
Government classes, political classes. I'm also, with the Civil Air Patrol, being that I was first sergeant, and going out to staff an encampment, or staff a drill and ceremonies, or Ranger training weekend, just absolutely helped a lot with discipline. Working with people, especially getting people to become goal oriented. And something that I learned from the Civil Air Patrol was the phases of a team, and I
Mm,
live by it. um there's forming, storming, norming, and performing, which are the four
mm,
stages of a team. Forming is when that team is brought together, and people are kind of, we don't know who we are, who we're working with, and they kind of just stick to their corners. Storming is where people start brainstorming, working together, figuring everyone else out. Norming is where they're all figuring out what the goal is and trying to become goal oriented. And then, of course, the final stage, performing, and working as this cohesive team, towards that goal. So no matter what, principles like that have stuck with me, throughout school, and,
mm,
throughout the team, and the business has helped me a lot, especially in school as well. Because my school recognizes, oh, she's taking the skills that we taught her from our
right.
classes, and it's making the school look good. It's making me look good.
Right.
And, it's making my teachers happy for sure, because they get to see, a person that they've taught,
Yeah.
take their lessons, and I was looking at, bottom up to top down approaches,
Mm,
especially that I learned in business and personal finances, how to make a pitch deck, which I actually was just working on the other day, and it got me, very stressed, but I finally was able to get it done.
nice.
But things like that I've been able to take from school and apply it into my team, my organization, actually, and take things from CAP and leadership, and how to make a team goal oriented,
Right.
and put that into my business as well. So definitely a lot of principles kept with me that has just absolutely helped.
Gosh, that's so awesome. Thank you. And I've never heard that model before, and I love it. And it has this nice, fun alliteration way to remember it too. So,
Yeah.
um, definitely gonna have to rewind and hear that back for those who, are watching this on post. But yeah, that's absolutely right. For an educator, just to see and witness, their students, which is like their mini proteges of, hey,
That,
you're going to go out there, you're going to apply these skill sets, and you're actually doing it. As you're getting your education, you're meeting it with experience, which are going to go hand in hand, and then you're learning to see, hey, this actually helped me a great deal, this did not help me at all. I mean, you get to
exactly.
kind of pick and choose there, and get to test the waters a little bit more, which is extremely awesome to see what's actually working, and what is that's not only working, but it's excelling in other areas, so that you can continue to keep promoting and learning with the organization. And creating a pitch deck, that's a big deal. So stuff
Yeah.
like that, I'm sure, in any junction, it can be very stressful. But that's amazing, Harley. That's awesome. And so how are you, in essence, I mean, it's again, 10 months, it's no easy feat. So to build where you're at today, I'm sure you're running on all cylinders. What does the infrastructure future look like? Those that perhaps, I hear you have an HR department, those that are not necessarily in the gaming scene, but are very into the esports industry and want to do more. What is it that you're looking to pursue next to continue to
What
build
we're
what work?
what we're looking to pursue next is definitely investment partners, sponsors, and really a full-fledged team.
Mm,
Because right now, none of my teams are on salaries.
mm,
Everyone else, where we're competing at right now, everyone else is on a salary, and we're just that weird outlier team. That we don't get much support. We don't have many sponsors. We're just here from our pure skill and talent
yeah,
alone. Um, and it's because they love what they do, and my players love what they do, and I work 110% for my players because they work 110% for me.
right.
The infrastructure in the future definitely is going to we're going to try to keep as much as possible the same business model, because so far it is working. Like PS4 controllers, if it's working, don't change it. Try to keep it as similar as possible. um,
Yeah.
so we want to keep it as the most efficient way as possible. We don't want to change it until we genuinely have to. We would definitely be looking for a organization building, or an organization home, really to set base in, and
Mhm.
have in-person meetings, because I definitely know that's going to be a lot more helpful, and motion studios, and
Mhm.
actual esports labs. But that's later on down in the future. The near future right now is we're looking for partners,
Mhm.
people that can really help us grow, people that see the potential in us, and just a really strong, team that's ready to go in for this next season, for not just Valorant, but Call of Duty and Rocket League.
Nice.
So, and of course the new league season that's already pretty much in the works because Worlds just ended.
Right.
But definitely in the future we're going to do as much as we can to keep the same business model. But as we grow, it's going to change, but we want to keep the same business model as current. Of course, recruiting might change. That might be a number one thing that might change. But other than that, we're going to try to keep it as easy and efficient as possible.
Gosh, that's awesome. That's really awesome. I'm really looking forward to the future for you, Harley, and for the whole organization as well. Um,
Thank you.
so, Harley, we're getting almost to that point, where we're concluding our
No.
session. So, typically, what I ask, and I will ask you now,
Okay.
is just words of wisdom to our community, if you don't mind sharing.
Well, some words of wisdom. If people are putting you down, and people are saying that you just cannot do it, or they don't see that you're going to be able to ever do it, or oh, that's crazy, that's bonkers. Don't listen to them, because in a year or so they're going to be the people that are going to be supporting you, and they're going to be looking out, or in a couple years they're going to be the people that be like, I should not have told her or him that they couldn't
Yeah.
have done it, because now they
Look
don't
at
even
them
care
now.
about me.
Yeah.
Look at them now. They're up here.
Yeah.
I, I wish I stayed friends with them. Um, but don't don't give up. That's something that I would say. Words of wisdom: don't give up. Don't let other people tell you what you can or can't do, because you as a person, you're the only person that can decide what you can or can't do. It's all mental.
Mhm.
If you want to go out and create the next asteroid mining service, go do it. The world is yours. It doesn't matter. Yes, it could be a problem if you have money, or if you don't have enough money, or you don't have enough support. But I guarantee you, if you put the work and drive in, people are going to notice. People will definitely notice, and people will support that. And if you show the output, and you show the numbers, and you show the possibility, and
Right.
you're putting your heart and soul into it, it's it's going to happen. And
Nice.
no doubt in anyone's mind, you can do it.
That's so awesome, Harley. And if you don't mind, just sharing with everybody, where they can find you and follow you and subscribe.
Well, our Twitter and our Instagram is bearclaw_esport, and our Twitch and YouTube is bearclaw army. You can also find me on LinkedIn. My name is Harley Parks. Um, and yeah, I mean, bearclawesports.com. It has a link to all of our socials there and a link to our merchandise and our
Nice.
wonderful merchandise, actually, that Innovated Gear was as so kind to making. So,
Nice.
yeah, those are our socials. That's where everyone can find us. And my Discord is BearC space Reaper hashtag 6710 if you want to get into contact with me directly.
Awesome. Awesome. Harley, thank you so much. And for everybody too for tuning in. You just heard it. Harley Parks, everyone. The youngest female CEO in esports. Harley, we're definitely gonna have to invite you back again just so that we can touch base and see what amazing
Definitely.
accolades you've amounted. Because I know great things are happening fairly soon for you, and I just can't wait to
Fingers
see
crossed.
what's going on. Yeah, fingers crossed. Absolutely, sending you positive vibes. Absolutely, as you continue this notion and moving forward. But you're no stranger to the community, so love to have you back for future talk sessions. Um, but thank you, Harley, honestly, for coming.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, everybody enjoy the rest of the day. And just a quick reminder that this is election day. So please take time out of your day to go out and vote. And just special shout outs to our producer, Yusuf Andrews, who's there managing it all, making us all look so good. Yusuf, thank you so much. And for everyone else, enjoy, be safe, and we'll see you on the next talk session. Thank you.
Thank you.